Facing a spider in Grounded is a terrifying prospect at the best of times, as they tower over you in your shrunken form, but this can be even more terrifying if you already have a fear of these creatures. Thankfully, Grounded has an Arachnophobia Safe Mode if you fall into that category, or just don't feel like dealing with an 8-legged behemoth up close. This mode changes their appearance into something a lot more palatable, basically reducing them to featureless geometry. But even then, these creatures are some of the toughest monsters you'll have to face in the yard, and if you try and face them unprepared, you'll be wiped out in no time. So here's what you need to know about turning on Arachnophobia Safe Mode and dealing with a spider in combat. The Arachnophobia Safe Mode in Grounded is an option to alter the appearance of spiders in the game and make them look less, well, spidery, which is a pretty good feature if you have a fear of these horrible critters. This option is found at the top of the accessibility menu, which can be reached from the main menu or by pausing the game and just selecting options. There are 6 distinct levels of grounded spider appearance you can set with the slider, as follows. 0. Standard spider appearance. 1. Fewer legs. 2. No legs and a floating body. 3. A floating body and no fangs. 4. A rounded floating body with less features. 5. A textureless rounded floating body and head, basically a couple of orbs with some eyes. So, if you push the spider slider all the way up, the spiders will basically become nondescript floating blobs that will be a lot easier to look at. Do note that this doesn't change their behaviour or their difficulty, so it's not going to make them any easier to escape or defeat. There's also no way to remove their eyes, because eyes are an important mechanic in Grounded. They indicate certain behaviour. If they turn red, it means that the monster is going after you. Taking those away would put you at a disadvantage and make it harder to understand them, so you kinda need the eyes to still be there. Initially, the best way to deal with a spider in Grounded is to just run away, or at least until you can improve your gear to tier 2 at a minimum. Keep an eye out for them while you explore, because they tend to patrol certain hunting grounds. Orbweaver spiders mark their territory with webs, but the wolf spiders don't, so it's often useful to look for the telltale shifting of grass to give away their movement. Give them a wide berth if you detect spiders in the area, and be ready to run if they detect you. Once you get your gear to tier 2 or up, and decide it's actually time to take on a spider, the best thing you can do is ranged combat. Find yourself some high ground where the spider can't reach you, and shoot downwards with a bow and arrow to wear them out. If you take them on in direct combat, they often have spiderlings, or even half-grown orb weavers called orb weaver juniors. It's very easy to become overwhelmed in these situations, so be ready to back off and try using the environment to fight them one at a time. It sounds easier than it is. Make sure you're also using your ability to block. Without this, you're going to take huge damage and probably die pretty quickly. There's one other thing worth knowing. All spiders, wolf and orb weaver, are obsessed with the smell of stinkbug parts. If you've killed a stinkbug and put the parts in a container in your base, nearby spiders can smell them and try to break in to get them, smashing through walls and taking no prisoners to get at the prized meat. It's a thing you need to be very careful about. Likewise, stinkbugs and spiders in the same area almost inevitably results in a fight, as the insect and the arachnid badly hate each other. Finally, for the extra advantage, each type of grounded spider has its own particular weaknesses and resistances, which you can discover by aiming your peeper binoculars at one and scanning it. Once scanned, head to the Data tab in the menu, then scroll down the creature cards to highlight the particular spider you're interested in. Orb weavers have a weakness to spicy weapons, most spiders do, so you can imbue that trait into your arsenal and give you an easier time defeating them. At the same time, they're resistant to stabbing and fresh weapons, so you don't want to be hitting them with a minty spear. Take a minute to study a spider in Grounded before you fight it, and you may discover an approach that will work much better against it.